35 seconds. That's how long it took for this game to go completely insane. Arda Güler, the 21-year-old Turkish international, picked up a horrendous Manuel Neuer clearance and curled a 25-yard shot into an empty net, the fastest goal in this season's Champions League. And from that moment, nobody in the Allianz Arena, nobody watching anywhere in the world could look away. Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid, a Champions League quarterfinal second leg. Bayern already leading 2-1 from the first leg in Madrid. Real needed to overturn the deficit in the Allianz Arena, the ground where Bayern have won 18 of their last 20 games. What followed was 7 goals and 5 of them in the first half itself. Harry Kane with his 50th goal of the season, Kylian Mbappé equalizing just before the break, 2 Arda Güler goals both aided by Neuer, and a second half that settled into a very tense chess match. And then with extra time seconds away, one act of indiscipline from Camavinga ended everything. 2 late Bayern goals, 2 Real Madrid red cards, and the 15-time European champion eliminated in a fury. With Jude Bellingham calling the decisive moment a joke and Dani Carvajal screaming, "It's your fault," at the referee. This wasn't just a football match, it was pure chaos, but it was spectacular. Now let's talk what actually happened in the pitch, because the first half of this match is arguably one of the best 45 minutes in the Champions League history, and it started with Neuer's horror show. Under no pressure, absolutely none, the 40-year-old hit a clearance straight to Güler at the edge of the box, and Güler didn't even think about it. First time left-footed curling shot into the empty net. 35 seconds, 1-0 Real, and the Allianz Arena was stunned. But here is something interesting about Bayern under company. They don't panic. 5 minutes later, Joshua Kimmich whipped in a corner and Pavlovic met it with a header practically on the goal line, and suddenly it was 1-1. The earliest two teams to have ever scored against each other in a Champions League knockout match. The intensity was relentless, and in the 29th minute of the game, Arda Güler and Neuer combined again, and not in the way the Bayern would have wanted. Güler floated in a sublime free kick. Neuer got there late, pushed it into his own net. 2-1 Real on the night and 3-3 on aggregate. And that's now 14 errors leading to goals from Neuer in the Champions League since 2003-2004. And then the big guns fired. Harry Kane left completely unmarked, curled in a composed finish for his 50th goal in 42 appearances for Bayern. That's 50 in a single campaign. And that's the most informed striker in European football. But 4 minutes later, Mbappé drove in and got a beautiful pass from Vinicius, his 15th goal in 11 Champions League games this season, to make it 3-2 Real Madrid at halftime, but 4-4 on aggregate. 5 goals, 45 minutes, and somehow neither team was ahead on aggregate. The second half was completely opposite. Both managers seemed to have words at the break. The tempo dropped a bit, but it was more tactical, where Real were only there to hit Bayern on the counter. It was Bayern who were applying more pressure, something they continued to do from the first. Even though both teams knew that one mistake could cost them the Champions League space, it was Bayern who were asking most of the questions. And for nearly 40 minutes, it looked like we were heading for extra time. The aggregate score was level at 4-4, and neither side was able to find a breakthrough. And then in the 62nd minute of the game, Arbeloa made a substitution that would come to define this game. Camavinga came on, and 24 minutes later, he was off again. In the 78th minute, Camavinga fouled Jamal Musiala. Yellow card, fine, unfortunate but not fatal. In the 86th minute, 4 minutes before the end of the normal time, Camavinga fouled Harry Kane. The referee blew the whistle, and then Camavinga did something that really defies explanation. He picked the ball, delayed the free kick. He knew he was on a yellow card in the 86th minute of a Champions League quarterfinal. Second yellow, red card, down to 10 men. Real Madrid were shocked. And even Steven Gerrard, who was following the game as a pundit, he said one moment of ill-discipline, pure madness, has costed Real Madrid the chance of getting to the last four. And Bayern smelled it. 3 minutes later, Luis Díaz, a guy who has been having the season of his life, played 1-2 with Musiala, drove into the box and curled a shot into the top corner with the help of a deflection. His 24th goal of the season, 3-3 Bayern on the night and 5-4 on aggregate. Real Madrid needed 2 goals in stoppage time with 10 men. They got 0. In fact, it was Michael Olise who twisted the knife in the 94th minute, curling a shot off the post to seal it. Bayern 4, Real 3. On aggregate, Bayern 6, Real Madrid 4. And then it got a bit ugly. Real Madrid completely lost it after the final whistle. Bellingham walked past reporters saying it's a joke in Spanish about the red card. Carvajal, who wasn't even playing, he was recorded on camera stating it's your fault at the referee. And Güler, who had already been substituted, stormed from the bench onto the field to confront the referee and was given a red. Now, was the red card harsh? I understand in some way why Real Madrid are furious. It's the Champions League quarterfinal, the dice level. You are playing away at Allianz Arena against Bayern Munich, a fantastic team. You are 4 minutes from extra time. The stakes are enormous, and a second yellow for time wasting feels a bit disproportionate. But here is where I'll lose some of you. Camavinga's first yellow was in the 70th minute of the game. That's 8 minutes earlier. He knew he was booked. Then he fouled Kane. That was fine. Then he deliberately took the ball and delayed the free kick. That's not unlucky. That's not harsh refereeing. That's the player who has lost his discipline in one of the biggest moments of his season. I think the referee was right to send him off. He didn't release the ball, which was correct. Even Arbeloa, credit to him, even hinted on the real issue. He said that I think the referee took out the card because he was not aware that Camavinga was already booked. That's not an argument for being wrong. That's an acknowledgement that Camavinga's behavior was yellow card worthy regardless. The question is whether the referee intended a red or not. Which, if you actually go and see the footage, it really shows that he was maybe not aware that Camavinga was already on a yellow. Maybe he would have not done that. But irrespective of that, it was a yellow for sure. So maybe unknowingly he did the right thing. And here is what I think, and I'm being honest with you. Real Madrid were magnificent in the first half. 2 goals from Güler, Mbappe's clinical finish, the way they went to Allianz Arena and took the game to them. It was vintage European royalty. Arbeloa's game plan was working. But the indiscipline is the story. Not just Camavinga, not just Güler confronting the referee after the game. The entire reaction, Carvajal screaming, Bellingham fuming, the squad losing their composure. And that's a club that has forgotten how to lose with grace. Real Madrid have won 15 Champions League because they always had the mental resilience in the toughest moments. The Ramos headers, the Zidane finals, the comeback against City, Bayern, PSG in years past. But tonight they didn't lose because they were outplayed. They didn't even lose because of the referee. They lost because of a player who couldn't keep his head for 24 minutes. And here is the uncomfortable truth. This Real Madrid squad might be the most individually talented team in Europe. Mbappé, Rodrigo, Bellingham, Vinicius, Güler, but they are heading for a trophyless season. And at some point, individual talent without collective discipline equals nothing. And here is where I really credit Vincent Kompany. First of all, for the way that he looked, he dressed up. I mean, that was so cool. Coming from a manager who's playing a very high stake game against Real Madrid, second leg of Champions League. But the most important thing that I really admire about Kompany right now is a lot of people were questioning him when Bayern took him from Burnley. Even though Burnley was getting relegated, a lot of people questioned, why are we picking up Kompany? Why is Bayern picking Kompany? What is he going to do? And here is the uncomfortable truth. He has been an excellent manager for Bayern Munich. The way he plays, he sticks to his philosophy, he sticks to his tactics. He has assembled one of the best team in Europe. And if you look at the team, they play free-flowing football, but with control and composure. Even when the game was level, it was Bayern who were trying to attack, who were trying to make things happen for themselves in the second half when the score was already 3-3. And Real were trying to hit Bayern on the count. And there is one thing that makes this Vincent Kompany's teams absolutely perfect with everything. They have an impressive midfield, they have very good defense, an excellent keeper who is aging now, but the attack, that is superb. No other team, maybe PSG is the one who is close to it. But if you think about it, let's take Real Madrid. If you see Real Madrid, they have Vinicius on the left who can dribble, who can create chances, but he doesn't score much. He misses a lot. Mbappé, the only one who can dribble, create and finish. They don't have any right winger. So the attack is incomplete. Now on the other hand, let's look at Bayern. Olise, he can dribble, create, shoot. Luis Díaz, dribble, create, score. Harry Kane, he can dribble as well. One of the best composed player, stunning passing accuracy and unbelievable finisher. Back it up with the midfield and defense. They are the perfect team. And not even for a single minute, they will bore you. They play exciting brand of football. They play high tempo game. And I think that all credit has to go for Kompany. For all the people who criticized him, who didn't believe him, and who were not sure what kind of game he will be playing and why has Bayern even opted for him in the first place. I think this performance may have answered your query. So what happens now? The focus now shifts to Arbeloa if he survives or if he's terminated at the end of the season. And let's be honest, he took care of his squad in a crisis after Xabi Alonso's resignation. And dismissing Arbeloa now might serve little purpose this late in the season. But this would be the first time in 16 years that Real Madrid have gone back-to-back seasons without major silverware. And under Florentino Perez, managers don't survive. For Bayern, the treble dream is alive and it's real. They can clinch the Bundesliga this weekend, 12 points clear with 5 games left. In the other cup, they are playing Leverkusen in the semi-finals and then a Champions League semi-finals against PSG, the holders. Companies Bayern have lost only once since November. Kane with 50 goals, Luis Diaz 24 goals, and Olise standing up in one of the biggest moments. The team is special. Now, I want to hear from you on this. Was Camavinga's red card the right decision, or the referee ruined one of the greatest Champions League tie we have ever seen? It's a binary choice, right or wrong. Drop it in the comments. I am reading everyone. 7 goals, fastest strike of the season. Kane's 50th goal, Mbappe's 15th in the Champions League, 2 red cards, and Real Madrid, the greatest club in the European football history, go home with nothing. Bayern Munich are in the semi-finals, and if they play like this against PSG, they might win the whole thing. Subscribe if you want the semi-final preview. I'll see you there.